Every time I say that we're going to be sat here for a while, you guys tell me it's not long enough. I feel like today's going to be the day. I feel maybe. There was just so much going on in this finale, guys. Like, wow. Anyways, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind season 6, episode 12. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. I'm going to be doing things a little bit out of order. We're going to talk about Jimmy and Chelsea, and then we're going to talk about Amy and Johnny, and then end with AD and Clay. I don't know why Love is Blind wants us to have like this fairy tale ending for a couple that we barely got to know. I think they should have left AD and Clay. What's his name? Child, not me forgetting him already. I feel like they should have left AD and Clay for last. So that's what I'm going to do. Before we continue on with the video, I wanted to talk to you guys about a local brand called El Chapeau. You can build your own custom hat for 147 Canadian dollars with the El Chapeau hat bar. You start by selecting your hat that has an adjustable sizing band for your perfect fit. Then you can choose your bands, chains, and accessories with your first 3 add-ons being included in the price. They're now booking virtual appointments at shopelchapeau.com, where you can also find days and locations on where their pop-ups will be. I will also link the site in the description box if you want to check them out. I'll also tag their Instagram as well, where they have a whole bunch of ideas of the hats that you can create. So make sure to check them out and let them know that I sent you. Let's start with Chelsea though. We're left on a cliffhanger, okay? And Jimmy, I thought he said he's all in, okay? But he's unsure if Chelsea is all in. Chelsea says she's all in. But now Jimmy's saying, oh, he's out.
Yesterday I was I think I was just having an off day, and so were you.
Yeah.
Today I feel more secure and I feel really, really good.
I don't want to go to the altar. I can't.
Why did you propose to me? I feel like you weren't even trying to get married.
You don't think I was trying to get married? The only opportunity is to tell you when I feel it.
I feel like you've known you were going to say no this entire time and you just wasted my time.
For that damn argument, I was so set.
Oh gosh, Kate, before you lied to me, before you did this, called me clingy. Like, you're so set on not going because of our one argument. I'm just like, that is blowing my mind.
I told you out of confidence about one of my friends. You disrespected her, you disrespected me.
So just because I brought that up because you wanted
still
me to,
talking.
no, I need to interfere with that. We're getting married. So
Over the last couple days.
With you the day you called me clingy,
Yes.
or to say that you didn't want to have sex with me anymore and I was the one pushing it on you? You throw in the towel with one issue?
That was not one issue.
That's marriage. That's marriage.
That was not one
Marriage
issue.
is not easy.
I genuinely believed Jimmy was going to at least make it to the altar. At least. And it's interesting now, especially with what happened with the last season, how they're not doing this entrapment thing anymore. They're letting people leave their relationships when they feel like they want to leave those relationships because we were all here for last season and the aftermath of what happened there. So yeah, people are feeling more inclined to leave. They're not feeling the pressure as much anymore, which is good. I saw this other review channel. And they sold me, okay? They said they truly believe that Jimmy is in love with Chelsea because of how he chooses to stick by her shenanigans. Like, somebody who was either 50-50 or was just not feeling her would not stick around for this, whatever this is when it comes to her. And I was thinking, you know what? Yeah, maybe they're gonna make it. Well, that's not the case. So let's read my notes here, okay? Chelsea thinks that Jimmy was stringing her along the entire time, as if she hasn't made this engagement the most stressful experience for both Jimmy and us, the viewing public. From the moment they met in person, it has been a tug of war. It has been a competition of who could be the saddest. It has been, you've done this to me, you've done this to me, you've done this to me. It has been a constant lack of accountability on Chelsea's, and it has been so many things, a myriad of offenses on Chelsea's behalf. Not to say Jimmy hasn't done anything, but Chelsea is the focal point when it comes to the disarray in the relationship. Like, girl, what? He strung you along? Girl, bye. The only thing I will give her is they had that conversation where he basically said he was out of there and then he came back and gave her another chance. That's when I think, okay, well, now you're stringing her along. Because if you know you don't want to marry this girl, don't marry her. What are we still doing here? You know what I'm saying? So then she said, he is not the type of person that she would want to marry, the type that will continue talking to his friends all the time. He goes out all the time. He doesn't take accountability, whatever. So if that's not the type of guy you want to marry, why are you upset that he doesn't want to marry you? He just beat you to the punch. He just beat you to the punch, girl. Like you said to his face, I don't think you love me. This is not the kind of person who I want to marry. So he's helping you make that decision. He's helping you. Let's keep reading. She says, he says that she betrayed his trust on many occasions. And the final straw was when she brought up the friend and how he was intimate with the friend. They had that conversation offline. And some people in the comments are confused when I said, I didn't know what that timeline was. My question was whether that conversation happened before Chelsea met the friend or after Chelsea met the friend. Because if she met the friend before and was like, I'm totally fine with that, then Chelsea is annoying as fuck. Like, she's so annoying because you keep pretending like everything is fine, knowing damn well it's not. And quite frankly, she's not in a place to judge because she is friends with her own ex-boyfriend. Now, her excuse is that they don't hang out. But according to Jimmy, that's the first person who she FaceTimed after they got their phones. I tell you, the double standard when it comes to Chelsea is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And that sad face, it makes me think of, who was that ventriloquist? Every time I see Chelsea's pouty face, I think of this guy. I do. I just do. But anyways, let me keep on reading. Chelsea is now upset because she feels like Jimmy is just giving up after one argument. And to me, the delusion alone is good enough reason to leave this woman. One argument. The last time you had an argument, you said that it was only one argument. And the time before that, you said it was only one argument. So every time you have an argument, it's only that one argument that matters. Unless she's just a truly forgiving person, which we know that she's not. And she genuinely wipes the slate clean after every argument. I don't know what is going on with Miss Girl in her head. I don't know. According to social media, she is in therapy. Thank God. And listen. That degree is a Bachelor of Science in Psychology, okay? We support therapy, okay? We support therapy. You need to be in it, Chelsea. Praise God that you are. Yeah, she's a lot. She's a lot. I don't blame Jimmy for ending things. And it seems like if she didn't disrespect his friend, he would still consider it. But I think there were so many other transgressions before that should have been just cause for him to say no. So I'm glad that things ended. And then you have Love is Blind producers being so sinister by playing the happiest music I've ever heard this entire season while showing a montage of the other brides going to the bachelor party. I said, oh my gosh. They do not care for that girl. They wanted to wrap that story up and move on. They didn't even ask them, is love blind? They typically ask the couples who didn't make it if love is still blind. But anyways, we're now at the bachelorette parties. And Amy talks about the birth control thing again. It's a tired conversation.
I saw AD, she has some shaking ass pants, so I feel like they got like...
So does Amy. So does Amy.
I got it.
I'm ready to be Mrs. Graves Sandy.
He's very terrified of having kids.
Okay.
Like, hard no.
Are y'all having
Listen, we're waiting it out a little bit. You have not had sex yet. We're having fun, but we're being careful.
Love.
Listen.
That's love.
It's deep-rooted love. And I love that man. And he loves me
As
too.
you should.
I will continue to be confused about these two's sex life, but it's not for me to understand anyway, so who cares? Are they having sex? I don't know. It seems like she's sexually satisfied while they're not having sex, so I assume they're doing anything but vaginal penetration. Sorry if that was too vulgar for anybody, but we should all be adults here anyway, so that shouldn't be too vulgar. The point is, They are still unsure what they're going to do on the birth control front. Some of you guys corrected me in the comments saying because she is anemic, the copper coil is not going to be beneficial because it actually makes you bleed more, even though it doesn't have hormones. At this point, honey, use condoms and track your ovulation. Let's move on. At the bachelor party, Clay talks about being a lot and loving AD because she's willing to put up with it.
She really sees me for like who I am as a person and like validates that, and like she's willing to like go to bat for that. Even y'all being my friends, I'm a lot to handle and be around with on a daily basis. I'll go to war with AD because she's willing to go to war with me. I could tell she really loves me.
Okay.
I could tell. I could see myself married to AD, you know?
Clay says he's never been with a woman who has accepted him, flaws and all. Which makes me wonder, where are these women and what are their accounts of their relationship with him? Because nobody accepted you wholeheartedly. It seems like every other woman had the good sense to leave your ass alone. That's what it sounds like to me. I need these women to rally up the troops, okay? Come to AD and say, sister, this guy, careful. He might be the one for you, but based off my experience and our experience, careful. And watch how Clay remove Clay from the situation. We have seen so many situations where a person will say, I love this person because they put up with my BS, because they're willing to be patient with me, because I know that I'm hard to deal with and they stick around. All that kind of stuff. How do you not see that you are a pawn in their life? You are a means to an end, if you ask me. You are a means to an end. They don't love you for who you are as a person. They love what you do for them. And then the most triggering thing for me when it comes to Clay is he says very often, I rock with AD. I'm sorry. Anytime a man has told me he rocked with me, he in fact did not rock with me. No, he did not. So I'm triggered. When I hear that, I'm just like, oh, child, he lying. Ooh, he lying. If he says I rock with you, and if he says I have love for you, throw him out. An honorable mention is if he says he F's with you. He does not F with you. He plans on F'ing you over. Just saying. Throw him out. So anyways, it's time for the weddings. And, before I get to that, he says he gave the experience his all and has grown so much. They must have edited that out because where was he giving his all? The man was barely coming home, but you gave your all. Okay. So anyways, let's move on to the weddings. We're going to start with Amy and Johnny because I feel like I don't have much to say about them. During the wedding prep, they are both very confident in their decision that they'll make at the altar. We assume it's going to be yes.
I'm so sure that Johnny is the one that I'm gonna marry. I'm ready to get me to that altar. I'm ready.
When she walks into a room, she kind of commands it, and it's really nice. We flow together amazingly.
She's the girl.
She's the girl.
Your whole future is ahead of you.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited.
So we did it. You can do it.
How do you feel?
Good. I feel at peace.
You ready?
I'm ready. So excited to be your family.
We are family now. I love you guys so much.
Amy says that her fear is that at the altar, he's going to come to his senses and decide maybe this is not for him. I don't know where she would have gotten that idea. The man has been pretty sold from the moment he saw her. So that's not going to be an issue. And on top of that, the friend now has had a dream about Amy marrying a white blonde man. We already know Daddy had a dream 2 years ago about Amy marrying a white blonde man. Here's a white blonde man. So here we go. Both sets of parents are very supportive, very, okay with how expedited this process is. His dad said, there is no timeline on when you fall in love with someone. So whether it's 3 days, 3 months, 3 years, love is love. So he's here for it. And then Amy's dad says he was skeptical at first, but after seeing how happy Amy was in this relationship, all his reservations went away. So at the altar, it's no surprise that they both said yes.
Feeling your character and learning to know and love your soul. I love your soul. And
Love you too, baby.
I'm excited for what's next. I do.
I do.
From a production standpoint, if Love is Blind wanted to make Johnny and Amy the sweethearts of the season, why didn't we see more of them? Besides that revolving conversation about birth control, which, why didn't we get to see more of them? We saw them as background characters, and now we're supposed to fall in love with their story at the end because it's a happy ending. Like, we don't know them. We don't know these people. Like, what? So, the wedding is happening, and I'm not drawn to it at all. I'm very disconnected. Y'all, last night I was watching Elemental. Good movie, by the way. I cried more in that movie than I did here. I didn't even cry at all, and I'm a crier. I be crying. Yeah, I don't know. Love is Blind, you fumbled when it came to the production of this couple. If you wanted us to be sold on this couple, you didn't show us enough of them. You did not show us enough of them. But anyways, let's move on. Let's go to AD and Clay, okay? While AD is getting ready, she says that Clay is so real, raw, authentic, and allows her to be her full self. I feel like you were biting your tongue a lot though, AD. So how much of yourself was actually showing up in this relationship? I don't know. But that's what she said. She also said that it doesn't hurt that he is chocolate and fine. Those are her words, not mine. Ooh, come on, rapper. Yeah, so that's what she said. AD's mom comes in and she talks about connecting with Clay's mom, which doesn't surprise me at all. They seem to have like a similar vibe.
It's happening. What? You want to scream? She want to scream so bad. She not solid. I told you.
That's a good woman to. That's who I would have picked to be your mother-in-law because she was real. The way that she talked about you.
Do you think Clay will be a good husband or a good future father?
I think Clay's gonna be a great daddy. You gotta protect and provide.
Right.
And Clay's protecting and providing.
Knowing what I know now, this is an interesting thing that I noted down. I said, I want to know if Clay's mom gave AD's mom assurance that Clay was ready, because if she is so real, as AD's mom is saying, she would have been honest and said that her son is not ready for this. I wish we got to see that conversation, because I feel like the mama told the other mama, my son can't do this. Prepare your daughter because my son cannot do this. Just saying. But we didn't get to see, so we're just going to have to assume. Clay says that he's not the kind of guy to fall in love in this way, but he has now become that kind of guy.
There's no way that I could even fall in love. Like, I felt like love was just so distant from me. But I became that guy. I became him. You became him. AD has been really, patient with me with this whole experiment. That's good, bro. I feel like this is like the finals of a graded test paper, but we're here today and I'm here to ace it, so let's go. She validates me and she makes me feel like a better version of myself, and I think that that's important in marriage.
He says he's never been in a place where he would choose somebody all day, every day. The same man who was barely coming home. But that's what he said. So let's move on, okay? According to TikTok, he said the reason why he was blinking so much in the scene where he met up with AD's mom was because his contacts were dry. I don't wear contacts. I don't know what that sensation is like. But I'm going to be nitpicky. I don't care. The way that he kept shaking his head and blinking his eyes, his body was telling him abort mission. This is not the play. His body was fighting all of this. I'm not a body linguistics expert. I don't know this man from Adam. But as an onlooker, it looked like his body was fighting him, saying, nigga, sorry. I'm gonna keep it in, I don't care. You better run. Get out of here. But, okay, he's still gonna go through with the child, okay? So we get to meet our Guyanese Casanova, okay? Clay's dad, I almost said AD's dad, rest in peace. Clay's dad is absolutely a suave guy. You can tell he used to be a player in his day.
Drop your other hands before you pull that up.
Okay.
Go ahead, put your hands in. Good. This way it comes up evenly.
Nice.
A lot of what I was sharing with you guys, and with sincerity, I didn't get from my father. Here's what your grandmother always said to me. Treat your wife well. Be good to your kids.
Yeah. My dad used to take me with him when he used to cheat on my mom. My mom never knew that. I want to know, were you in love the whole time?
If you think you'll lose, you've lost. For out in the world, you find success begins with a fella's will. It's all in a state of mind.
So the pros of my dad, I identified it. I wanted to be like my dad, but I didn't know that I took some of his cons as well.
I just got to give a shout out to the parents this season. Like the parents have just been so good. Just so good. Even Jeremy's mom, like the honesty these parents have had, but also the care for their children. It's been so good. So in this conversation, Clay's dad said that he was in a household with an absentee father. And so his mother's wish for him was that he would take care of his wife and take care of his kids. Now the wife won. And then the kids, he says it came naturally to him, but how good of a father can you be? Let's have the conversation. How good of a father can you be to take your children on your cheating escapade trips? I don't know. He didn't want to repeat the pattern of not having a present father, but your presence was detrimental in Clay's life. It's not good enough to just be there. You have to be there and show up well. Like, okay, you were in Clay's life, but look at what you did to him. Like, oh my gosh. Child. I definitely can see where Clay gets this metaphorical, let me motivationally speak into you type of speech. His dad speaks just like that. A lot of traits you can see came from his dad. Let's hope that cheating is just not a hereditary thing, because Clay seems to think that it is. If other things could be passed down, I guess cheating can too. So, child, here we go. AD is getting really emotional about to walk down the aisle. AD's mama also really emotional as AD's walking down the aisle. Once AD reaches the aisle, nitpicky me was like, oh, so he's not gonna fetch her? He's not gonna go get it? Okay.
Okay, body.
You see it? Oh, you look good.
You look at you and got that shit on. I was telling you, I said I need to know what you look like before I propose. But you came through, you popped out. I could work with that. Lord knows, I'm a lot to handle, a lot to deal with. I gotta give a shout out to you for just looking out for me, man, for real.
I love how raw you are, authentic. You are beautiful, you are intelligent. I see things in you that maybe you don't see. I think you are a very powerful, powerful man. And those are things that I want to continue to nourish for you because I trust you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, do men not go get the woman from the aisle anymore, even if she's not being walked down by her father or being given away by somebody? Like, they don't do that anymore? My husband is absolutely doing that. You're coming and getting me from the aisle, because what? The man didn't even take a step down to come reach her. He just wanted her to come to him. And that's a theme. Ooh, let me not start. So anyways, in their speeches, I did wish that Clay focused more about AD's attributes as a wife rather than how resilient she has been having to deal with him. It's an exhausting thing to hear him say. He says it all the time. She puts up with me. I know I'm hard to deal with. Like, please. So over it. AD talked about more of his personal attributes, which is what I wanted from him. But okay. When it came time for the decision, don't get me wrong. I knew what the outcome was going to be, but I was still like, ooh, damn.
I do.
I don't think it's responsible for me to say I do. I'm rocking with you. I just don't think it's responsible for me to say I do at this point when I still need work. And I appreciate you, and I know that you will fight for me and we'll let it work. I'm sorry. Why does it matter, like, with the timeline? Why does that matter?
Clay, don't do that.
AD is visibly pissed off, like visibly seething. And this man has the audacity to say, I mean, does the timeline matter? Shut up. Shut up. He is so infuriating. Like, yes, the timeline matters. If the timeline didn't matter to you, go and date somebody in the real world. Go on Love Island, for crying out loud. You didn't have to be in a process that ends in, that's the part. If you realize the person who you were matched with is somebody who you didn't want to be married to, that's one thing. But if you felt like you were never going to be ready for marriage, you should have never come on this show. Never come on the show. And a lot of people feel like, they're going to get this clout. I mean, shout out Trevor, from being on Love is Blind. I hope you do know that not all publicity is good publicity, because some of the bad that people have been experiencing, Kenneth, for example, Kenneth has had to cut off all his comments. I'm sure he's not opening his DMs for nothing because of how he's been perceived on the show and other allegations outside the show, but we're not going to talk about that. It's not good enough for you to say, well, I'm going to come on here, get a platform, and then I'll be grand. No, because if people hate you, that is something that you do not want to experience. But anyways, let me not focus on that, okay? Oh, he said, I rock with you. I wrote that is very triggering for me. 80 starts saying that she feels like she's never good enough. I'm like, girl, don't do that. Don't do that. You are absolutely good enough. I need her to realize that for herself, because she carries that. She really, really carries that. And her need to want to build people up is because she doesn't believe that she is worthy. That dependency that she's looking for will make her feel like she's worthy. And girl, that's not how it is. Like, that's not how it works. So sad for AD, man. So sad. I do still think that she could have asked more questions. We're going to get into that. But anyways, what do I have here? I do appreciate that Clay said it is irresponsible for him to say, I do, because it is very irresponsible. And we see here the parents fully backing his decision because they know their son. Come on, they knew this was a dumb idea.
You do not get to this point and think that you need to be forced with the I do. And if you're not 100% sure here, don't ever cross that line.
Let all that stuff go.
Yeah,
let all
because
that stuff
I
go.
feel good about my decision.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like I chose, I'm not ready to be married.
I'm proud of you.
Yep,
Okay?
yep.
It's maturity, man. And you're showing maturity.
Yep.
Come on, baby.
Yep. A lot of the work that needed to be done was my emotional empathy side. Am I a husband? And the answer was no. Am I deeply in love? The answer was no. Eternity is forever, and if I'm gonna be something forever, I wanna be locked in 100%.
I am gonna harp on the blinking. I don't care what you guys say. I'm gonna harp on the blinking, because do you see him blinking as much now as he was before? Maybe he got some eye drops, but I think his body is now at ease. I think he now is calm. He is no longer stressed because he don't got to marry that girl. I think his body, his demeanor is so much calmer after the fact. That's just me. That's just me. He's now not confident in her finances? Where did that come from? Unless I wasn't paying attention, I felt like this is new. The only thing that he said was their work schedule doesn't line up because she hasn't been working much. What does she do? Real estate and nightlife? So I guess that was an insinuation that maybe finances are not that great either. I don't know. But anyways, he should have never been here. That's the long and short of it. He should have never been here. Okay. So I did love the conversation between the parents where the mom said that their marriage did mess him up. Their marriage messed up Clay. Let's be honest. His dad got emotional and said that it was a lack of having good role models in his life that made him act the way that he did. And unfortunately, that repeated a pattern. And here we have Clay. Clay's dad said that Clay needs to find someone who is like his mom, but his mom responded by saying, you had me and didn't take care of me. Proof that a good woman will do nothing for a man who does not want to be a good man. If that man doesn't want to be a good man, there is no act you can do to keep that man in the house. There's nothing you can do to make that man act right. It's just not going to happen. The person themselves needs to want to be a good person for them to be a good person. There's nothing you could do. Nothing you could do. Also, they really focus on the parents a lot. I'm like, y'all trying to have a spinoff or something? Love is Blind, Seniors Edition. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, y'all. So Clay now wants to touch base with AD. He wants to apologize. At first, she's having none of it, but then he seemed to soften her up a little bit. And I was like, girl, stay strong.
I really was fucking struggling with everything this whole time. It was a game time decision. Like, I thought about everything, AD. Like, you wouldn't want me saying yes and being half-assed with marriage. You wouldn't want that. Off a great 2 weeks, this is gonna be my wife forever. I could not make that decision to you today. Like, it's hard for me to look at myself in the mirror like I can't be right now. I'm not a husband right now. I love you too. What do you mean we're supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do? You think I'm leaving? Stop. I guess you gotta run away from me.
I did my best.
You did. I just feel like I learned so much about myself, AD, and it kind of got scary, you know?
I want to ask you guys how you feel about his apology. I felt like he was making it about him in a time where he should have just been consoling her. So then he says, I'm not going anywhere. No, you better get gone. You better get gone. He says he's going to go to therapy, so that's one place you could go. I could tell you a few other places, but I'm going to choose to be nice. You better get gone. And she was melting just a little bit. And I said, oh, sis, stay strong. Eventually she said, listen, I'm not going to entertain him. He broke my heart. It's done. It's over. So that's great. I don't think I have anything else here. She said that she was upset that basically she was just a prop in his journey. And I'm like, well, every time he would talk about your attributes, it would be what you could do for him. Like, that was your best quality. The things you did for him were your best qualities. I feel for her, but I'm like, this could have been avoided. All the times that she was giving him side eyes and stuff like that, they could have been followed up with questions. I think the beauty of Clay, the yearning for marriage, the lack of healthy marriages in their parents' lives was all the catalyst for her just choosing to go forward with this, knowing Clay ain't it. Clay ain't it. At every waking moment, this man would say, I'm gonna disappoint you. I feel like I'm gonna cheat. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Girl, what more do you need to hear after that? Child, anyways, during the final remarks, Clay says that he didn't realize how serious marriage was. Boy, bye. And then she said that there's nothing he could have said that would have deterred her from saying yes at the altar. Ma'am. I'm so concerned. I'm so concerned. But it's okay. It's okay. I don't think I have much else here. All I say is that they should have had more hard-hitting questions. Hard-hitting conversations. And she shouldn't have swept so many things under the rug. I do feel like she did. The only prop that I can give Clay, and it pains me to do so, was that he had been honest about not being ready. And I don't think she was being honest about acknowledging that he's not ready and that she needed to walk away. Maybe she felt like she needed to stay to the altar and that if she said yes, that would maybe sway his decision. But I know in my heart of hearts that she knew this wasn't it. She knew. She didn't want it to be true, but she knew. So anyways, I want to see how the reunion goes, child. We haven't heard much of Clay on social media, so I want to hear a lot from him at this reunion. A lot of people are saying what could be talked about on the reunion. We know at the end of the day, the producers are going to choose to show us what they want to show us. So I'm going to be sticking around. I'm going to do the reunion. I'm also going to do some other interviews if interviews stick out to me and I want to talk about it. We're also going to do a post-season impressions because y'all love that when I talk about my first impressions and how I feel about these people now. So yeah, listen, we're still locked in. The show is over, but we got a few more videos to go. So as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.